I'd like to start by saying that any cracks at longswords I make in this video are purely jokes and nothing more. They can be a nice addition to your party as long as they stay in their lane. Don't be tripping, dog, stay in your lane. I've got my job, you've got yours, just do it. Get your ass to the ass. Stay away. I don't want to see it. Get out of here. Hashtag longsword lane. It's right there. I'm not your enemy. Stop it. Have a nice trip. So to be your all-in-one hammer video, I'm going to split it up into different categories, presented on screen at whatever times they are, because I can't be arsed to record more voiceover later. So you've decided to pick up the hammer. Good. It's not the hardest weapon to use, not the easiest, not the best DPS in the game, but if you like big dick damage numbers, shaking the screen with every swing, and just having a grand old time, then you sound like a fun person to be around. We should get a coffee or something. And yeah, this is an actual tutorial. Let me get to it. As a hammer, your role to the group is to hit the head. That's it. Hammers are the KO king, baby. Hitting monsters in the head for bludgeoning damage will tucker the fuckers out and knock them straight senseless. They're not the only weapons capable of KO damage, but they're easily the best at it. The downside is that you can't do any slicing damage, so you won't be cutting off any tails. It's the only weapon that can't. Even hunting horns have a move that does some slicing damage. You also don't hit a whole lot, so status moves aren't really a good idea either. Reserve that for things that hit a fuck ton, like dual blades or guns. Your job is to hit the goddamn head. Fucking period. I'll start with the universal techniques before the world-specific ones, so it's a little more general to come back to for whatever needs. TLDR, your infinite combo is your 3 triangle button attacks, X on Nintendo, into a single R attack, R on Nintendo, back into a 4-button triangle combo, rinse and repeat. Your basic triangle combo involves 2 hits on the ground in front of you, followed by what we call the golf swing, or home run, or nobody fucking calls it an upswing. While sheathed, you can pull an unsheathed attack by hitting triangle while moving forward, and that can transition into your basic combo. Pressing triangle while standing just pulls it out. You can roll between any of these moves, so don't feel like you have to commit to a combo if you're just gonna get hit. In games previous to World, pressing circle does a small side hit which can be comboed into your triangle combo. The only time to ever use this is if a monster is already within hitting distance and you've just been jerked a bit and had your combo disrupted and you want to get back into the fray. Really specific shit. If that's a little confusing, that's because it is. It was a throwaway move and I'm glad they changed it, but I'll get to that in a bit. In World, they replaced your initial triangle swing with it if you're moving and unsheathed, and I think that's the perfect place for it, honestly. Your R attacks are probably your biggest can of beans to figure out, so fucking pay attention. Your R moves have 3 different levels of charge, and you'll do different attacks based on what level of charge you're on and whether or not you're moving. This is the only place things get technical, I promise. Tapping R will do a wide sideways swing. As I mentioned before, it's an attack you can use to chain your triangle combos together seamlessly. You can also hold the button slightly to reposition yourself if you need be. Hell, just holding the direction you want to turn while you tap it, you'll just turn in that direction. Hammer has some of the worst, if not the shortest range in the game, so you'll end up repositioning a lot. Next, you've got your level 2 charge. Here's your uppercut. In previous games, you shot forward a good distance, so it wasn't terrible for chasing limping monsters. In World, it lost some forward momentum in exchange for some upward thrust, making it really only good for launching teammates or swinging in vain at flying monsters in a move I like to call last ditch before I sheath and throw a flash bomb. In all seriousness, it's still not bad for closing gaps. Now you've got your level 3 charge. Charging it fully and letting it go while stationary will throw you into your ground pound. Starts with a pretty weak upswing into your strongest skullcracker of a move. Unless you've got a glory-hogging greatsword on your team, this is the move you should wake up sleeping monsters with, as they take extra damage on the first hit that wakes them up. Careful not to hit them with the upswing though, as it's weak as shit and everyone will hate you, including me. I mean, unless you've got bombs, but who wants to waste resources, am I right? You to bomb. Now releasing level 3 charge while moving will result in what I like to call spin to win, which is very ironic because it's a good method of losing. Never do this. Only villains do this. You can cancel it out by hitting triangle at certain points, but even then it's a really long animation, and with a hit and run weapon like the hammer, this is not what you want. The DPS isn't even worth it, as your regular combo does more. It hits a lot, so it's good status damage if you get between the legs or something, but that's not your job now, is it? Jump attacks are pretty simple in previous games. You can release a charge in midair or do a slam with triangles, so I'm gonna move on to the changes made in World. The biggest change in World I'm gonna note is that they changed the shitty circle button into the Big Bang combo, or as I like to call it, the Cran Slam. Feel free to also call it that. It's a 7-hit combo that hits for crazy damage. The downside is that you're completely stationary while doing it, and the combo ends if you whiff, so make sure the monster is down, paralyzed, or trapped before trying this. The second big change in World is that if you tap circle while having charged R to any degree will trigger your power charge, designated by a glowing weapon. In this mode, all your attacks deal more damage and do more KO damage. It also changes your attacks slightly, making them slightly slower but swing wider. However, you're knocked out of this mode when you sheath your weapon or get staggered at all, even by roars. The slower animations aren't going to help if you need to stay mobile, and having to recharge yourself constantly during monsters that roar a lot is going to kill your DPS. I find the best time to use it is if your teammate is about to finish a mount, get all beefed up just in time to clog some noggins. And this charge buffs your ground pound into quite the wake-up call. But it's also got 3 overhead swings, so if you want to get that good morning bonus on the last hit, it's a little harder to space yourself, but it's totally doable. Alright, here's the coolest thing in the world. The ability to slide down slopes by holding right bumper. From here you can do a jump attack by pressing triangle, or jumping by pressing X, which can be followed by your triangle attack. Or the most useful thing in the hammer moveset. While in midair by friendly means, basically by anything that wasn't a monster attack, i.e. a jump from a ledge, slope, vine, or a team launch, you can tap R to fucking double jump in any direction. Glaives aren't the only master of the skies, my friends. Not only can you double jump in any direction, but then you can release your attack in any other direction. You can jump off a ledge to the right, jump back to the left, and then unload back on the right. The positioning is absolutely gorgeous. Against larger mobile monsters like Kolv Teroth and Kushala Daora, hitting their head is a cakewalk. And as if things couldn't get any better, I present you with the most balls to the wall move in the fucking game. The Knuckleball. By holding charge instead of run while sliding and releasing it, you unleash your fucking demons in a flying ball of unrestrained malice. You can do it off walls too! So unless you're a max DPS whore, I've got some pointers for you. Now obviously there are skills that benefit every melee type weapon. Attack, defense, critical eye, mind's eye, and handicraft are some examples. These are just generally good, but I'm gonna go over some specific ones for hammers. Now number 1 is don't get focus. I've heard some people suggest it because it speeds up your charge bar, but your level 3 charge is not the only charge move you want to be going for. You should be using all your moves to your advantage, and speeding up that bar just makes it much harder to manage. While mind's eye is fantastic, you're going for the head, which for a lot of monsters is a weak point. So if you've got blue sharpness and you're not fighting an Uragan, you'll be fine. The skills I recommend are Weakness Exploit, Heartbreaker, Slugger, Evade Window, and Non-Elemental Boost. Weakness Exploit increases your affinity when you hit a monster in a weak point, i.e. its fucking head. And with the way hammers shaft you for affinity, you'll be glad to get any extra you get. Hammers are notoriously good at breaking parts of monsters, and Heartbreaker just accentuates that. Play to your strengths, children, it's simple math. Slugger sucked in previous games. I wouldn't recommend it for anything other than World at this moment. World, however, they increased the threshold for KOs and part breaks dramatically between single and multiplayer. Without Slugger, you'll struggle to get off 1 KO a match. And even though the game's fucking you over, it still sucks to technically not be doing your job, you know? Sometimes you need a little help. The most important skill you can get, in my opinion, is Evade Window, but not for the reasons you're thinking of. I hear a lot of people go, just get better at dodging. I get by fine. But not only are you at the head of the monster, you know, the fiery explosive end, but I'm not using evasion to protect myself. It's to stay aggressive. Instead of rolling away when that Teostra throws out a flamethrower, I can roll right through it and keep on attacking. Time it right, and you can evade right through roars and keep on swinging. You want to be on that head as much as fucking possible.
Diablo Shatterer 2.
Now there are a few little tricks that I've picked up on my travels that I'm going to share with you. Now first things first, hammers are hit and run weapons, meaning they're designed to run in, get a few good shots in, and then just get the fuck out of there. Don't commit to long combos that are going to get yourself killed. As well, I see a lot of people walking around with their weapon unsheathed, looking for an opportunity to strike. You should almost never be in an idle unsheathed stance. Either sheath and run if they've jumped away, or immediately start charging. Best case scenario, you can throw it an uppercut and get back into the action. Worst case scenario, they're running away and you can just roll out of your charge. Or you might be able to get in a clutch ground pound and hop away to safety. The fact that you can roll after just about everything makes hammers surprisingly mobile and fluid weapons. Is that pesky weeb asshole fucking up your day while you're trying to do your duty as a proud hammer civilian at the head? Just uppercut them off your fucking property. Okay, so hear me out here. When you think of a mounting weapon, what do you think? Glaives, right? Well, to tell you the truth, they ain't the king of the rodeo anymore. That's right, it's this guy. That's right, it's this guy. I know what you're thinking, and I know, I'm here for the head. I'm here for those sweet, sweet knockouts, but there's nothing saying you can't do both. Hammer's just been blessed with some amazing mounting tools in this game. Throw in the affinity sliding and airborne skills for added affinity upon sliding and increased damage on jump attacks, and you've got yourself an air assault set that even Basiljuice is jealous of. You see, in Monster Hunter World, they decided to give hammers incredible amounts of mount damage for some reason. Some monsters all amount to my first attack, and they give you so many slopes to play with. Some areas like Nurg's Playground, Uragan's Halfpipe, and Puffbat's Den are nothing but slopes. I like to call these places Knuckleball Junction. You can go fucking ape here. You can pull off 2 mounts in these areas before they run off somewhere new. Some other places, while not ideal, can still be functional, like Val's Pile, for example. You can actually curve a slide around and pull off an uphill KB if you're good enough at it. It's fucking dangerous. Oh no, is that monster sitting on a ledge? How will you ever get that mount now?